Alright guys, I'm back again. I know that was quick, but I got the Baja on the bench. My wife's not going to work for a few hours, so I'm trying to take advantage of this time. She works weekends, so with the baby it's really tough to, to make time for RC, simply put. And I appreciate you guys that subscribe and that watch all the new subscribers. I'm hoping you guys will enjoy some of the content that that I come up with. I'm really, kind of all over the place, so I really wouldn't know how to categorize my channel. Or it kind of just morphed into, from my initial excitement of unboxing this rig here, which was the Rovan Baja 305 FT back in Christmas of 2015. So, that's where it all began, and then I just kind of, as far as like my progress and some of the issues and things I was running into, I decided to to record it and to make some videos, because I really couldn't find much in the way of what I was looking for at the time. So I figured, why not put it out there for guys that are like me, that are still relatively new to RC and kind of dove into fifth scale head first, not ever having even seen a fifth scale in person. As you can tell by the unboxing video. If you haven't seen that yet, that's my that was my first RC video, initial RC video anyway. I think I made a couple with the 10 scales that I put out after, but those are kind of shelf queens these days. The Revo build is phenomenal. I think the wheels, tires, they're a little big. I'll probably put something a little smaller on it, but initially it had an older 3.3 in it that it came with, because I bought it used and I rebuilt the whole thing. But when I rebuilt it, I blew the 3.3 that was in it like almost immediately. So luckily recently I won a 3.3 and a pipe, so it's got a brand new engine sitting in it. Just needs to be broken in and ran. But I want to buy some new wheels and tires. I think those are just absolutely too big. But yeah, enough about that. So here we are. As you'll see from the last video, I managed to get the wheels and tires on there. I'm going to run the X2, the factory X2 tires at the track this time, as opposed to the Mad Max, Rovan clone MX style tires. Mine are pretty worn. There's really not much bite left there. In the morning when I first get to the track, it's real loamy and it's nice, and it's really good for a tire like that, which of course they would never let you run at an actual, a real track, a sponsored event or something to that effect, because it is a real track, I shouldn't say that. But a sponsored event, I don't think they would let you run, an MX style tire. So I ran those the last time I was out, and I did have, I had good bite with them in the morning when the track was loamy, but as the afternoon, went on and the sun, kind of dried the clay out or the dirt out, I really wasn't getting the traction I want. So I'm just going to run these. Again, of course, ideally I would buy a set of race, JC Concepts or something, but again, I'm on a pinch a penny budget, RC racing routine with this rig, and I'm not racing sponsored events. We're just out there having fun, so it's no big deal. But yeah, I threw the wheels back on it. I let it run for about 15 minutes, and it ran great. So I'm hoping for the best when I take it out tomorrow. Just got to make up a tank of gas and get it out there. See how well it does, because next weekend I will be packing up my truck and getting the hell out of here. Driving 3 hours north to run the hell out of it for the day. But what I wanted to do here is, oh my God, yeah, check out this situation. It works, guys. It works. I know it might seem a bit ghetto, but it's what I came up with just now. Being I have a pile of styrofoam sitting over there that apparently you can't recycle, and so I'm having to break it up and just put it out in each week's trash. The Baja, the last time I had it out, I have to do the FS clutch, and well, the last time I had it out, the clutch gave way. No, it didn't give way. I had it on the bench recently, and it gave way. I pulled it all apart, and which is very easy, by the way, with the Vertigo easy access clutch system. It takes a few minutes, not even. I was able to see that the bolt had backed out, the clutch bolt had backed out. So maybe I didn't get enough Loctite in there, who knows, but it backed out and it snapped it in half. So again, I had to call on my father-in-law to help me get the other portion of it out. The threaded portion was still inside the clutch adapter, and I couldn't get the clutch adapter off because that piece was in there. I tried to use the clutch tool, I ended up bending it, just being impatient. So I got him to take that out. I decided I need to buy myself a bolt removal kit, because apparently I just keep stripping the heads on these damn things. Just now, putting in the gear mesh inserts in the X2, I stripped another head. So I'm going to leave it for now because it's in there tight. So clutch bolt snapped, clutch bolt snapped. I ordered the FS clutch, the 9500 RPM spring, so that'll be an upgrade. Should be able to get off the line real good with this engine. But I noticed when I was out there that I had tons of wheel spin. It was all over the place. The ass end was like it was on ice. So this Rovan is, how old? Who knows? I mean, I don't know how long it had been sitting in a box before I bought it in 2015. But I've never done anything with the rear end. I've never done anything with the diff. And so I decided I need to pull it apart and see what's in there. I'd like to thicken the oil anyway, but I have a feeling when I crack this thing open, it's going to be either dry or very close to, because like I said, with this engine and the high RPMs, it was all over the place. So I think if I thicken up the oil, I will get a little bit better drivability out of it, and probably a little bit more power to the ground from what I'm hearing and reading and seeing. So again, this is the first time I've done this. I just started pulling it apart now, and we'll see how it goes. So when it's all back together, ideally I would like to have new diff oil in there. I'm not sure exactly what weight I'll go with yet. I have a 30K weight, enough of it sitting on a shelf that I may use. I would also like to reroute the telemetry for the can't think of the name of it. The FSIT4S, the Fly Sky unit I bought that comes with the telemetry. If you guys have seen that video, I decided to use the telemetry, and it is pretty neat. I didn't need a voltage meter on there. I don't know why I did. I thought I did. The voltage is read through the actual receiver. The receiver box picks up the voltage for you and sends it back to the transmitter, your actual RX battery voltage. So this particular voltage telemetry that they sell you, I guess, would be for an additional battery, maybe for the E-word guys, they might have a use for it. But I have it tapped into my battery. I already went through the work to put it there, so I just left it. The temperature telemetry I have pinched inside these fins and held in there nice and tight. You couldn't pull it out if you tried. It's in there really well, and it gives a nice temperature reading. I've used my gun to compare, and it's accurate. But the RPM and the speed I'm having an issue with. As far as mounting the speed sensor, I tried to mount it where they suggest. It's basically two little infrared eyes. One sends a constant beam, and when the beam is broken by something bright, it sends a signal back to the other one over and over and over again. And so that gives the speed reading. So what I did was I mounted a black circle plate on the inside back of my wheel, because just the wheel itself allows too much light in. Even if you do put a little piece of that silver reflective tape in there inside of your wheel, it still doesn't work. So I put an Armor All cover. I painted it flat black, the top to an Armor All can, plastic. I cut the circular top out and mounted it with 3 screws to the hub of the back of the rim, and it's perfect. There's barely any space, just enough space in between here and here, and I put a small 1/8 strip of that reflective tape on it, so when it spins, it'll see that. But there's just so much movement, and I don't know what's going on, but it's not giving me an accurate reading. Maybe this thing's just junk to begin with. I'm going to change the location. I'm going to sit it on top of the brake plate mount, and I'm going to cut a tiny little hole in the back of the the plate, that little plastic plate, that dust plate. I'm going to cut a tiny square in here, and I'm going to mount the setup right on top of it, and the two eyes will be sticking through here, and they'll see the back of the spur gear. I'm going to paint the back of the spur gear flat black and put a tiny piece of reflective tape on it, of course, and that will not allow any light in, and I think it'll actually work. I don't know. I don't know if the fact that it's not going to have any light in there because of the way everything's enclosed with the cover on there, the spur gear cover. We'll see. I mean, I'll probably do a little reading first to see if it needs light, but I don't believe it does. The RPM I have pinched in here, and it's catching a signal from the magnets that run on the fan, but it's not accurate. I don't believe it is anyway. So I need to get this telemetry module inside and closer. I may have to cut a tiny hole in the casing here, get it in there and get it closer. I don't know. Is it worth it, guys? I really don't know, but it would be really neat to have everything be nice and accurate and work properly. It just would. So ideally when it's done, the telemetry will be done, the clutch will be in, the FS clutch with the new spring, and this rear end will have been taken apart, put back together with new gear oil, and should be nice and thick. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go with any of that like 1 million weight stuff. Although I've seen guys run it and it seems like it's decent, but from what I understand it makes steering a little bit more difficult. Not really understanding all of that yet, but I'm getting there. So again, thanks for watching, guys. This is where we're at with the Rovan Baja, pulling it all apart again on a Saturday afternoon. We'll see how far I get before my wife has to leave for work, and I should be able to get back to it in the next few weeks and hopefully get it out again. It is February, of course, and in Florida, February is still kind of cool. So the days are, 50s to 60s, maybe 70s. It's actually beautiful weather. I just wish I had the time to get out there. So stay tuned and wish me luck with this.